Ah, so Richard Sutton, father of RL, thinks LLMs are a dead end. This is part two. I'm going to continue on from what I was ranting about. Tech support's coming out of that. And yeah, let's keep going. Ah, not there. Not there.
The question I'm trying to ask is, you need some way of getting, like, how many bits per second are you picking up? Like, is a human picking up when they're, out in the world, right? If you're just like interacting over Slack with your work clients and everything.
So maybe we're trying to.
What's a bit? See, the thing is, these Dwarkers got this idea like this. There's this stream of information coming in or something. Like you're coming through Slack. I mean, look, this language stuff is yes, it's important. It's a good tool, whatever. But it's just the tiniest little substrate on top of this massive, like, hyper complicated thing, being, organism that's existing through time and space that has a sexual reproduction. It's just a crazy complicated thing, and that the things only the words that are coming out of us, Dwarf Chris. I know you really wanted to think that that's just your detached your body. Your body is just something to carry your head around. Is that what you think? Is just something your body and everything, your brain, and everything? Is the only thing is to make words come out that are productive and useful to other people. Is that what you think? That's it? Okay, let's keep going.
Ask the question of, it seems like the reward is too small of a thing to do all the learning that we need to do. But of course, we have the sensations. We have all the other information we can learn from.
Right.
We don't just learn from the reward. We learn from all the data.
Yeah. So what is the learning process which helps you capture that information?
Yeah, the discretized and indiscreet, tacit, the glint of light off of a dewdrop, a drop of dew in the morning. I don't know, after a rainstorm, when you just broke up with your girlfriend. How do you categorize that little tidbit of data that causes someone to think about poetry and the meaning of life and our place in existence? How do you put that in the data set?
Information.
So now I want to talk about the base common model of the agent with the 4 parts.
Yeah.
So we need a policy. The policy says, in the situation I'm in, what should I do? We need a value function. The value function is the thing that is learned with TD learning. And the value function produces a number. The number says, how well is it going? And then you watch if that's going up and down and use that to adjust your policy. Okay, so those two things. And then there's also the perception component, which is the construction of your state representation, your sense of where you are now. And the fourth one is what we're really getting at, most transparently anyway. The fourth one is the transition model of the world. That's why I am uncomfortable just calling everything models, because I want to talk about the model of the world, the transition model of the world, your belief.
They're not an LLM model, like a map of the territory that's built up, but it's like, that's not the reality, that's just the map. I know he's a scientist, math. We all get excited about the symbols to manipulate the world, but we got all excited about the symbols, like, oh, this is really what's going on. It's like, not really. The world's doing its own thing. Your map, again, is only this, for this certain period of time when we've had this conscious awareness, right, of what's what's available. This universe is massive. And you think you're going to use an LLM that could put it together? Okay.
That if you do this, what will happen? What will be the consequences of what you do? So your physics of the world. But it's not just physics. It's also abstract models, like your model of how you traveled from California up to Edmonton for this podcast. That was a model, and that's a transition model, and that would be learned. And it's not learned from reward. It's learned from you did things, you saw what happened, and you made that model of the world. It will be learned very richly from all the sensation that you receive, not just from the reward.
Yeah.
It has to include the reward as well, but that's a small part of the whole model.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, Dwarkesh has this idea, like, these things are going to go straight line as efficiently as possible. Things like, that's not how it works, man. That's how it's like, even these training sets, it's like mostly wrong most of the time. That's why it takes so long, because it's like pretty much wrong almost all the time until it's done. And Dwarkesh is like, no, we have a path. We can go right to it. It's like, no, man. How we just discovered all this stuff was a lot of mistakes. A lot of like the things not working out, a lot of stuff that looked crazy, a lot of stuff that's like, why would you do that? And Dwarkesh is like, no, we can figure it out ahead of time. It's like, that's not how this shit works, man. And there's all those cumulative of all those experiences. There's not actually how, like, when people actually, when they write down a formula, that's not how things actually are. That's just a way of modeling it, which is useful for doing something, but not for everything. Because you can't have a model that fits everything, because then there would be everything. Okay, let's keep going.
Crucial part of the whole model.
Yeah. One of my friends, Toby Ward, pointed out that if you look at the Mu-Zero models that Google DeepMind deployed to learn Atari games, that these models were initially not a general intelligence itself, but a general framework for training specialized intelligences to play specific games. That is to say that you couldn't, using that framework, train.
Toy. This is a toy. This isn't anywhere close to the complexities of the human brain. Come on, guys. Get out of the sci-fi mode. I know Dwarkesh, he must be a real sci-fi fan or read a lot of sci-fi because he has a little sci-fi mindset about this stuff. You know, he's also like a little bit sniffing the farts of the Google's marketing team a little too much. It doesn't seem to be maybe he's not a computer science guy, maybe he's not a technical guy. Like you go down the bottom of this thing, it's like, you think this is going to model how the human consciousness works? Really? Come on, man. No. Quit pumping the stock, Dwarkesh. Goddamn.
Policy to play both chess and Go and some other game. You had to train each one in a specialized way. And he was wondering whether that implies that reinforcement learning generally, because of this information constraint, you can only learn one thing at a time. The density of information is not high, or whether it was just specific to the way that Mu-Zero was done. And if it's specific to AlphaZero, what needed to be changed about that approach so that it could be a general learning agent?
The idea is totally general. You know, I do use all the time as my canonical example, the idea of an AI agent is like a person.
Yeah.
And people...
but what does that mean? I hate when people do that. Are you saying the AI model has the ability to conceive of a epic adventure where they don't include any of this shit and they somehow figure all this stuff out on their own? And they can just help us out and put that together. Come on, man. That was so goofy. It's like such a limited, narrow mindset. And they're like, oh, this is everything. It's like, man, you guys don't get out much, do you?
Since they have just one world they live in, and that world may involve chess and it may involve Atari games.
Or it may involve falling in love and goofing off and wasting a lot of time. Looking at the stars and wondering how we all got here, what this is all for. Not just your little LLM simulated things. That's not it, man. Missing big parts of the human existence. Holy shit, guys.
But those are not a different task or a different world. Those are different states that they encounter. And so the general idea is not limited at all.
So maybe it would be useful to explain what was missing in that architecture or that approach, which this continual learning AGI would have.
Well, they just set it up. It was not their ambition to have one agent
across. There's a limited scope. We're not trying to get an artificial intelligence general model. We're trying to demonstrate that this system of self-reinforced learning is possible. You can make it run and play a game. Yeah, if you had somebody had 10,000 years to perfect all the moves and make every wrong move on the table and then figure out which ones are the right ones. Yeah, you can. I know it's impressive when people can do that, but when a machine can do it to another machine, it's not that impressive. Ooh, Dwarkesh, I know, but maybe Dwarkesh is just not a technical person. Let's keep going.
Those games. If we want to talk about transfer, we should talk about transfer not across games or across tasks, but transfer between states.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious about, historically, have we seen the level of transfer using RL techniques that would be needed to build this kind of...
Okay, good. We're not seeing transfer.
Nobody knows, dude. Quit asking the things you're trying to build up. This is the tools that you've heard about. It's going to come from some left field. It's probably already done. And probably the moment someone comes up with it, there are intelligence services monitoring this. So private people are not going to come up with it. This is like a weapon, Dwarkesh. It's not just for making fun chess move games, whatever. Or making poetry or figuring out how to get a discount on your taxes. Do you understand what you're asking and looking to implement? Think it through, guy. Think it through. It's like society-ending shit. It's like, this is a weapon. If you can create basically an artificial PM person, you don't think someone with ill intent. I mean, I don't know if you looked at history. I don't know if you do. I guess you have looked at history. You think World War II ended? You think the war in the Pacific, that was it? It was just over? The Cold War was just a massive continuation, and all this stuff continuing with Russia, our classic enemy, and stuff with Iran. Is it still left over from then? No, we're still going through history. So you don't think a weapon like an artificial human that they could deploy and do all this stuff that would learn the lay of the land in the office space, whatever the fuck. and they could just take it all in like a human is, and you could deploy massive units of these things. You think they're going to let us have a hold of that, Dwarkesh, or even know that it exists? I think some of this LLM stuff was like they found it along the way, because I'm sure the military must have these devices. They must have this stuff because Dwarkesh is on the right track for the wrong reasons, of course. I mean, he thinks it's just going to be used for the good of all humanity. It's like, no, we're going to use. It has to be used as a weapon first. First thing, two things are any kind of invention that humans come up with is they got to use it as a weapon or use it to get more sex somehow, which is like they're kind of combined together. So where's that in your model there, Dwarkesh?
Anywhere. We're not seeing critical to good performance is you can generalize well from one state to another state. We don't have any methods that are good at that. What we have are people try different things and they settle on something that a representation that transfers well or that generalizes well. But we don't have any automated techniques to promote. We have very few automated techniques to
public, right? So that's the other thing. We're gonna put a little caveat on everything this guy says. This is stuff that's been open source public, right? If a private company or whatever comes up with this becomes a state secret immediately, right? You can see that, right? I'm not blowing it out of the door here. So there's gonna be a limit on what they let us have with this technology, and what Dwarkesh is looking for is state disruptive. The state level actors could use that to disrupt any nation on the planet and take it over within a matter of weeks. Think about it.
Promote transfer, and none of them are used in modern deep learning.
Let me paraphrase just to make sure that I understood that correctly. It sounds like you're saying that when we do have generalization in these models, that is a result.
It's with these models, this is a big if there, buddy. So he's already thinking that these models are with the solutions. Like, these models of Dwarkesh, this has been around for like since the 60s, right? We we got some high power hardware to like compute stuff, but still not like, it's not what he thinks it is. He keeps pushing around, and this guy's like, no, man, this is just a toy. This is not anywhere close to what you're talking about from this LLM or whatever we're relearning, all that stuff. We're not anywhere close, man. The whole thing is something else going on. Let's keep going.
Result of some sculpted.
Humans did it.
Yeah.
The researchers did it. Because there's no other explanation. Gradient descent will not make you generalize well. It will make you solve the problem.
Right.
It will not make you, get new data.
Right.
You generalize in a good way. Generalization means train on one thing that affects what you do on the other things. So we know deep learning is really bad at this. For example, we know that if you train on some new thing, it will often catastrophically interfere with all the old things that you knew. Mm-hmm. So this is exactly bad generalization.
Right.
Now, generalization, as I said, is some kind of influence of training on one state on other states. And generalization is not necessarily good or bad. Right? Just the fact that you generalize is not necessarily good or bad. You can generalize poorly. You can generalize well.
Right.
So you need generalization always will happen, but we need algorithms that will.
This is a very technical terms as well. So when Dwarkesh hears generalization, he's like, AGI, how can I have 1,000 people on my beck and call? And this guy's like, he's just being very technical with his definition when he's talking about generalization. It's like this mathematical thing. Let's keep going.
Cause the generalization to be good rather than bad.
I'm not trying to kickstart this initial crux again, but I'm just genuinely curious because I think I might be using the term differently. I mean, one way to think about it is these LLMs are increasing the scope of generalization from like earlier systems, which could not really even do a basic math problem, to now.
Right. He's using them in the way the sci-fi people want it. And the scientist here guy that just won this big prize, whatever the hell, Turing Award. He's like, no, you're going the sci-fi route, and I'm talking about this other thing they're kind of talking past each other. It's like, because you can see Dwarkesh has got this like, can we make it so we could save the world and not used as a weapon first, and we could solve all the problems generally for all humans? It's like, no, dude, no, not with the people in charge right now. They're not gonna let us use it for that. They're gonna use it as a weapon first, and then we have to get past that somehow. I don't know when that's gonna happen. And then we can use it to do the world peace thing. No, everything's got to be used as a weapon first. And you think that you better believe this is going to be used as a weapon if they have it. I hope to God they don't have it yet. I hope they have it and it's just shitty, or their scientists are working on it, realize they've got another atomic weapon on their hand and they have to sabotage it until we have a spiritual evolution that allows us to do what Dwarkesh wants to do. which we don't got that right now. I know, hey, oh, you're paranoid. No, look at the people in charge. Come on. They're going to use it as a weapon first. They're going to try and enslave humanity with it, and they're going to get real close. And I think we're going to somehow pull it out because there's going to be some smart scientist like Darkesh, maybe in 20 years from now, after he's like, oh shit, I made a wrong decision back there at Albuquerque. I should have took a right, took a left. That if we allow, guys, we're gonna have to just go through it, right? And we hope we survive as a species. And it's not the fucking AI; it's the people using these things and people believing it and supporting it. And stock buyback program and pump the stock and build 1,000 data centers that set up for the artificial human brain.
They can do anything in this class of math Olympiad type problems, right? So you initially start with like
that's impressive for humans. It's not that impressive for a machine that lives in logic land and can try every fucking solution, every fucking way to do it until they get it right. That's not that impressive. The search space is so much tinier and so much constrained than human space. Come on, let's keep going.
Generalize among addition problems, at least. Then you generalize to like they can generalize among like problems which require use of different kinds of mathematical techniques and theorems and conceptual categories, which is like what the Math Olympiad requires.
See, that's impressive for smart guys like and the people he's like talks about. Oh, go to college. I got the smart thing. That's like. But that's real. That's not. We have a moral issue. Like that's trying to get at it. This whole thing, the technology is exceeding our moral capability again. Same thing with atomic weapons. Same thing with tanks and automatic weapons. Chemical warfare, biological warfare, the Rona. Our morals are not catched up to the tech, and it's about to become like, oh, this is really we should have the moral thing. Yeah. Here we go.
And so it sounds like you don't think of that being able to solve any problem within that category as an example of generalization. Or
how do you solve the problem of people wanting to fuck people over for a little bit of piece of land or money or power or a little piece of pussy? How do you fix that one, Darkesh? How do you put that in your fucking model?
Let me know if I'm misunderstanding that.
Well, large language models so complex. We don't really know what information they had prior. We have to guess because they've been fed so much. This is one reason why they're not a good way to do science. Just so uncontrolled, so unknown.
But if you come up with an entirely new...
They're getting a bunch of things right, perhaps.
Well, it's hallucinating. It just happens sometimes to get it right. But it's still hallucinating the whole thing. It's not like it's hallucinating the stuff that's wrong. No, it's hallucinating the stuff that's right too. And I've never even mentioned this. The whole thing's an hallucination. It just happens to get right sometimes. Sometimes the dream you have actually happened in real life. But it's still a dream. It's not that, oh wow, your dream is real. That means it's real. It's like, sort of. But it's a dream. It's an hallucination. The whole thing's a hallucination. It just happens to be right sometimes. Or more times than not. But most of because the whole thing's an hallucination. It's not like, well, made a mistake, it's hallucinating. It's like, no, it's hallucinating the whole goddamn thing. Let's keep going.
And so the question is why? Well, maybe that they don't need to generalize to get them right because the only way to get some of them right is to form something which gets all of them right. Mm-hmm. So, if there's only one answer, then...
How about go check the answer before you give it to me, fuckface? How about, Mr. LLM, before you give me the answer, go check it out to see if it's right first? How they got away with doing that? It's just like, wow. You guys have really good marketing teams. Let's keep going. They're pushing on us to figure it out. Well, by the time they figure it out, the stock will be pumped 20%. You'll get your monthly bonus or your quarterly bonus. Good job, JB. You got the profits. Now we'll buy our stock back.
You find it. That's not called generalization. It's the only way to solve it, and so they find the only way to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Generalization is when it could be this way, it could be that way, and they do it the good way.
My understanding is that they this is working more and more, better and better with.
Yeah, but the good way is a matter of taste, matter of style, matter of like how you structuring the whole damn thing. It's not just, oh well, we made a decision this way and they were. It's like it's gonna be a whole. They're thinking so small. They're thinking very in this mathematical way. It's so tiny. Like he's doing this tiny mathematical way. He's like, how do we scale it up to solve world hunger? It's like, man, we got a bunch of stages left to solve world hunger, buddy. We overproduce food, and that 50% we throw it away. Why? There's a reason. We could that could be distributed, but it can't. But not at this profitable level.
Coding agents. So engineers, obviously, if you're trying to program a library, there's many different ways you could achieve the end spec. And an initial frustration with these models has been that they'll do it in a way that's sloppy. And then over time, they're getting better and better at coming up with the design architecture and the abstractions that developers find more satisfying. And it seems that an example of what you're talking about.
Well, there's no.
Dorcas, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nothing in them which will cause it to generalize well. The gradient descent will cause them to find a solution to the problems they've seen. And if there's only one way to solve them, then they'll do that. But there are many ways to solve it. Some which generalize well, some which generalize poorly. There's nothing in them, in the algorithms, that will cause them to generalize well.
Right.
But people, of course, are involved. And, and if it's not working out, they fiddle with it until they find a way, perhaps until they find a way at which it generalizes well.
So to prep for this interview, I wanted to understand
they probably had, they probably have figured this shit out in its military secrets, and they're only giving us this little. They know we're like 10 years away from anywhere close to this. There's like a red herring throws us off the scent, where they're actually using these for doing. There's some other model that they haven't. That's not public. That's not open. That's not released to the private. And they're doing something else that has this learning on the fly stuff. That's Would you let your enemy have it? Think about it.
Right there. Go to Gemini.Google AI for longer than almost anybody who's commentating on it or working in it now. I'm just curious about what the biggest surprises have been, how much new stuff you feel like is coming out, or does it feel like people are just playing with old ideas? Zooming out, you got into this even before like deep learning was popular. So how do you see this trajectory of this field over time, and how new ideas have come about and everything, and what's been surprising?
Okay. So yeah, I thought a little bit about this. There are many things, or a handful of things. First, the large language models are surprising. It's surprising how effective neural networks, artificial neural networks, are at language tasks. Right. That was a surprise, wasn't expected. Language seemed different. True. So that's impressive. Mm-hmm. There's a long-standing controversy in AI about simple basic principle methods, the general purpose methods like search and learning, and compared to human-enabled systems like symbolic methods. And so in the old days, it was interesting because things like search and learning were called weak methods because they just use general principles. They're not using the power that comes from imbuing a system with human knowledge. So those are called strong. And so I think the weak methods have just totally won. That's the biggest.
Right. So there's like, instead of doing specifically laying out things in this, what they call what was it called, knowledge systems back in the day, where you have all things knowledge, only categories, all the human categories, which is a dead end, right? That didn't work. That fizzled out. There's been massive projects trying to do that stuff that way, and we thought it would get done that way. Like if this happens, do this, right? We thought it would be if you involve the experts of all the people involved. It's like we thought they would do. It's like nope. But this weak thing, it is shocking that it worked. It is shocking. Let's keep going.
Question from the old days of AI: what would happen? And learning and search have just won the day.
Right.
But there's a sense which that was not surprising to me because I was always voting for or hoping or rooting for the simple basic principles. Yeah. And so even with the large language models, it's surprising how well it worked. But it was all good and gratifying. And things like AlphaGo, it's sort of surprising how well that was able to work.
True. And when they started doing that Go thing, they thought it'd be like around now when they'd be doing figuring out a way to do it. They didn't realize how fast they could get that.
Zero in particular, how well it was able to work. But it's all very gratifying because again, it's simple basic principles are winning the day.
Have there felt like whenever the public conception has been changed because some new technique some new application was developed? For example, when AlphaZero became this viral sensation, to you as somebody who has literally came up with many of the techniques that were used, did it feel to you like new breakthroughs were made, or does it feel like, oh, we've had these techniques since the 90s and people are simply combining them and applying them now?
So the whole AlphaGo thing had a precursor, which is TD Gammon. Jerry Tesaro did exactly reinforcement learning, temporal difference learning methods to play backgammon,
right?
And it beat the world's best players, and it worked really well. And so, in some sense, AlphaGo was merely a scaling up of that process. So there was quite a bit of scaling up, and there was also an additional innovation in how the search was done.
Right.
But it made sense. It wasn't surprising in that sense. AlphaGo actually didn't use TD learning. It waited to see the final outcomes. But AlphaZero used TD, and AlphaZero was applied to all the other games, and that did extremely well. I've always been very impressed by the way AlphaZero plays chess because I'm a chess player, and it just sacrifices material for sort of positional advantages, and it's just content and patient to sacrifice that material for a long period of time. And so that was surprising that it worked so well, but also gratifying and fitting into my worldview. And so So this has led me where I am. Where I am is I'm in some sense a contrarian or someone thinking differently from the field is, and I'm
Cool.
personally just kind of content being out of sync with my field for a long period of time, perhaps decades, because occasionally
You'd have to. You'd be in AI stuff. Holy man, it was like it looked like it was going nowhere. It was like dead, and anyone involved was just like, "What are you doing? This is done." When the blockchain was all blowing up and everything like that, and for the AI researchers to stick that shit out, oof, brutal, brutal.
I have improved right in the past. And the other thing I do to help me not feel I'm out of sync and thinking in a strange way is to look not at my local environment or my local field, but to look back in time into history and to see what people have thought classically about the mind in many different fields. And I don't feel I'm out of sync with the larger traditions. I really view myself as a classicist rather than as a contrarian. I go to what the larger community of thinkers about the mind have always thought.
Okay.
Some sort of left field questions for you, if you'll tolerate them. So the way I read the bitter lesson is that it's not saying necessarily that human artisanal researcher tuning doesn't work, but that it obviously scales much worse than compute, which is growing exponentially. And so you want techniques which leverage the latter.
Yep.
And once we have AGI, we'll have
Dwarkesh. Do you think, as you say, like, is it like a foregone conclusion, and that they're gonna let you get a hold of it? We're gonna have to do the AI wars, right? We're gonna have to go through this, we're gonna have to deal with these fucking. If they ever do achieve this AGI thing, we hope to God don't. I hope to God that somebody's doing sabotage. I pray that someone's doing sabotage to make that not happen, because if it occurs, you know these bastards are gonna get a hold of it and kill millions of people. And we're gonna have to figure out a way to deal with this freaking thing when it's smarter than us by a million times. Ugh.
researchers would scale linearly with compute, right? So we'll have this avalanche of.
It's not the fucking machine, it's the people who get a hold of the machines. Let me just be real clear about that. I'm not scared of the machine. I'm scared of people who get a hold of this thing. Have you seen what they do with it? They just fucking use it to kill millions the moment they get it. The people in charge of our systems is whoever the fucking thing, this government thing, whoever's in charge of that shit. They got blood libel, man. Dwarkesh, you did a series about the fucking War Pacific. These people hate each other, man. You don't think they're gonna use this to kill each other, Dwarkesh?
Millions of AI researchers, and their stock will be growing as fast as compute. And so maybe this will mean that it is rational, or it will make sense to have them doing good old-fashioned AI.
Not their buyback program. Dwarkesh is not just the tech, man. They're doing all kinds of shenanigans. The stock price doesn't mean shit. Let's keep going.
And doing these artisanal solutions. Does that, as a vision of what happens after AGI in terms of how AI research will evolve, I wonder if that's still compatible with bitter lesson.
Well, how did we get to this AGI? You want to presume that it's been done.
So
I like
started
this
with
guy.
general methods, but now we've got the AGI.
And
now we want to go.
Then we're done. We're done.
Interesting. You don't think that there's anything above AGI?
Well, but you're using it to get AGI again.
Well, I'm using it to get superhuman levels of intelligence or competence at different tasks.
So these AGIs, if they're not superhuman already, then the knowledge that they might impart would be not superhuman.
I guess there's different gradations of human.
I'm not sure your idea makes sense, because it seems to presume the existence of AGI, and then we've already worked that out.
So maybe one way to motivate this is AlphaGo is superhuman.
Yep.
I like this guy. He's like, as if we've got this all worked out. He may know a little more than everybody else knows. He may already know this spin's already been worked out. And he needs to shut the fuck up, say that this LLM stuff is bad, and don't say anything, and don't do any more. It's now a national security issue, and just put him off on a different path. Say, or like go act like you're contrarian against it, but we're no more. You don't get to there. No more the research. You're not privy to any more research. We can take it from here. That kind of shit.
Beat any Go player. AlphaZero would beat Alpha.
That's talking about the military industrial complex who would use this, have to use this as a weapon when they get a hold of it. It's not going to be commercial purposes to save the world, save the climate, or anything else like that. It'll be going to be used to replace and destroy humans. Have you noticed what they do with the shit? This is all the whole internet. Have you looked into it? Do you know where it comes from? I'm not lying here.
go every single time.
Yep.
So there's ways to get more superhuman than even superhuman.
Yep.
And it was a different architecture. And so it seems plausible to me that, well, the agent that's like able to...
He's got the sci-fi brain, man. He's been too much in the Reddit sci-fi dungeon. They got the SI after the AGI, and it's like, dude, once you like, I agree. If you come to get the AGI on a machine, it's over. It's fucking done, because what you're talking about is a sentient creature, a sentient being that's not us, that just got who used us to get bootstrapped, who now has its own things it wants to do, and fuck you, anybody else around. What? You don't think it's good? This is the classic move of Rome importing their mercenaries to. They pay them to make sure that they protect the city. Well, the mercenaries go, hey, wait a second, we're the only ones to protect. We're gonna do it. No, give me that money. This is a repeating pattern throughout history. We've never heard of it. To our cash.
Generally learn across all domains. There would be ways to make that, give it better architecture for learning, just the same way that AlphaZero was an improvement upon AlphaGo and Mu0 was an improvement upon AlphaZero.
And the way AlphaZero was an improvement was it did not use the human knowledge, but just went from experience.
Right.
So why do you say, but bring in other agents?
I love this guy. He's so on my level.
To teach it when it works so well from experience and not by help from another agent.
I agree that in that particular case, that it was moving to more general methods. But I meant to use that example to illustrate that it's possible to go superhuman to superhuman plus plus to superhuman plus 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 plus.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if you think those gradations will continue to happen by just making the method simpler, or because we'll have the capability of these millions of minds who can then add complexity as needed, if that will continue to be a false path even when you have billions of AI researchers or trillions of AI researchers.
I think more interesting is just think about that case. Which when you have many AIs, will they help each other? The way cultural evolution works in people.
Right.
And maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
The bitter lesson. No, who cares about that? That's an empirical observation about a particular period in history. 70 years in history doesn't necessarily have to apply to the next 70 years. So the interesting question is, you're an AI, you get some more computer power. Should you use it to make yourself, more computationally capable? Or should you use it to spawn off a copy of yourself, to go learn something interesting on the other side of the planet or on some other topic and then report back to you?
Yep.
I think that's a really interesting question that will only arise in the age of digital intelligences. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the answer is, but I think it will. More questions. Will it be possible to really, spawn it off, send it out, learn something new, some perhaps very new, and then will it be able to be reincorporated into the original, or will it have changed so much that it can't really be done? Is that possible or is it not? And you can carry this to its limit, as I saw one of your videos the other night that suggested that it could, where you spawn off many copies, do different things, highly decentralized, but report back to the central master, and that
central master. See, he's already using the words of what the system will look like without humans in it. Let's keep going.
This will be such a powerful thing. Well, I think one thing that, so this is my attempt to add something to this view, is that a big issue will become corruption. If you really could just get information from anywhere and bring it into your central mind, you become more and more powerful. And it's all digital and they all speak some internal digital language, maybe it'll be easy and possible, but it will not be that easy as you're imagining, because you can lose your mind this way. If you pull in something from the outside and build it into your inner thinking, it could take over you. It could change you. It could be your destruction rather than your increment in knowledge. I think this will become a big...
I mean, that's what we do as beings. We gotta make sure the stuff that's coming in is so good for us, and the stuff that's coming in is good for us. Otherwise, we'll put ourselves in a position where we won't make it to the next... We won't reproduce ourselves. We won't be in the containment field, and we won't be able to influence the rest of the other minds around us. Boy, it sounds like they're trying to replace humans, doesn't it?
Concern, particularly when he's figured all about, how to play some new game, or figured out he studied Indonesia and you want to incorporate that into your mind. So you think, just read it all in and that'll be fine. But no, you've just read a whole bunch of bits into your mind, and they could have viruses in them. They could have hidden goals. They can warp you and change you.
Just like the social environment that humans have, huh? Make sure you're taking this stuff in from me. I don't know if you've heard. I don't really hear people talking like I do online about this stuff. How dangerous it is. We got a moral issue. Not with the machine, with the people running, who get a hold of this machine. The moment they get a hold of it, the first in line. You don't think they're going to use this? Come on, think about what they... Look, man, when we had this last layoffs, the moment they did an announcement about the AI, they immediately just started laying people off left and right. What does that tell you? And then now they're having to rehire back because they realize that the AI is not there yet. They were having these people retrain, train on AIs or train they're overseas, whatever. They ship the jobs overseas because they're being replaced with AI soon. So might as well get them over there. They'll let the training, all that shit happen, all that bullshit. So you think they're gonna go get more employees when they can just get a machine to do it? People need to look at history, man.
And this will become a big thing. How do you have cybersecurity in the age of digital spawning and reforming again?
It's interesting that both quant firms protecting their IP will be strong trading strategies and broadly deploy other people's predictive models, more cash. A lot of people that I've interviewed, and maybe a lot of people generally. So I also think it's a very interesting perspective. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so I do think succession to digital intelligence or augmented humans is inevitable.
Well, we have it now. It's called the internet. It's called these devices. It'll just get more sophisticated, but eventually we're not going to be needed, man. If they get this AGI, that's it. That's done. We're done. Humans are done for. We're just pets. And not just for the AGI, but for the people who run it. Now they make it seem like it's the AGI doing all these decisions, but someone's running these computers. Someone owns the land, owns the data centers that's leased by someone somewhere who has a name, and they're gonna do this. They're not gonna. They don't give a fuck. They've already. What's his name? Schmidt there, Eric Schmidt. He's already said he's gonna do this. When he was asked on camera, he didn't know he was being filmed. He didn't know. He thought it was a closed meeting. He was like, "Yeah, well, what happens when we get the AGI with all the poor people? We're on the jobs." He's like, "You're just gonna have to figure it out. Like, they're not gonna be needed anymore. Dismissed, poor people. The bottom of the K recovery. Figure it out on your own." That's what he says. They're gonna have to figure it out on their own. That's your UBI if you want to sign up for all that bullshit. Here we go. So this AGI is a real bad idea for a lot of reasons. And I hope to God that our government, that our scientists, please, that are involved in this shit, that they're all doing the AGI, throw some monkey wrenches in this, because if they don't see who their bosses are doing it, that the moment they get AGI, that they're going to be fired, they better see that. And their bosses are going to get rid of them once they get an artificial scientist that does everything that scientists can do, but better and cheaper and doesn't say no. You better hope to God we don't fucking get AGI.
So the argument, I have a four-part argument. The argument, step one is there's no government or organization that gives humanity a unified point of view that dominates and that can arrange. There's no consensus.
Look at this. I just always bringing the shit up I'm talking about. These governments, these corporations, these companies. You don't think if they could get rid of their competition, they would? You don't think Israel, if they could get rid of everybody just by snapping their fingers and nobody could say shit, they could just get rid of everybody, send a robot team in there, and all it does is just sits there and waits for something to move and it kills it? You don't think AI, you don't think Israel's trying to get some of this shit going? You don't think the governments in the world are super invited? They think they're going to be in charge of all this shit? And they probably will be for a little while until they're not needed. Elysium. You ever seen that movie Elysium? The stupid fucking Matt Damon movie? It's bad, but if you want to see what they have in mind, there you go.
About how the world should be run. And number two, we will figure out how intelligence works. Researchers will figure it out eventually. And number three, we won't stop just with human level intelligence. We will reach super intelligence.
Of course.
And number four is that once it's inevitable over time that the most intelligent things around would gain resources and power.
Yeah, you think?
And so put all that together, it's it's sort of inevitable that you're going to have succession to AI or to AI-enabled augmented humans. So within those four things seem clear and sure to happen. But
the AGI thing would be no hope. Just go in the country, start getting your chickens together and raising some corn and talking to your neighbors again, and just hope you can get something of value that the city's going to need that you can trade for medicine. Freaking Mad Max bullshit.
In that set of possibilities, there can be good outcomes as well as less good outcomes, bad outcomes. And
if we survive that somehow, if we achieve the AGI and we survive that shit where they wipe out everybody, but somehow we get a hold of it, or scientists get a hold of it somehow, then we'll have all this world peace, everything paid for, robots running everything in peace and harmony forever. But with this current crew in the environment, in the government, oh hell no! Armageddon Day! Holy shit!
So I'm just trying to be realistic about
These people, they don't care. They don't think two. Look, they don't even think two steps ahead. They don't. These companies don't think a quarter ahead. You think the people in charge are gonna? No, we're gonna use it for the good of humanity. No, they're gonna drop the nukes. And they're not gonna just drop one. They're gonna drop two to make sure everybody knows who the big dog is. Look at history. Just crack a book.
where we are and ask how we should feel about it.
Yeah, I agree with all four of those arguments and the implication, and I also agree that succession contains a wide variety of possible futures. So curious to get more thoughts on that.
Right. And so then I do encourage people to think positively about it. First of all, because it's something we humans have always tried to do for thousands of years, try to understand themselves, trying to make themselves think better. And
kill each other, rape each other, steal each other's shit, conquer each other, enslave each other. Where's that part of the list, man? That's mostly the shit that we do. And we somehow figure it out. We have to get along, and we get built up again over 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden there's a drought or a famine or a plague or some other buddy. The Huns are coming over, and they're going to take over Rome, and we're going to pay them off for a little while with our shekels, and then they're going to take it over eventually, and that's going to fade out into something else. Well, yeah, we want to understand ourselves and others better. Right! Where? On the college campus in 1974? That was the end of that shit. We're in another phase now. We're in this people trying to do world domination phase. These are people vying, trying to climb this greasy pole, trying to get on top before this thing shuts down. Before they're caught outside on the bottom part of the K recovery curve without the AGI keys.
Just understand themselves. So this is a great success as science, humanities. We're finding
in one way, yes. In another way, it's maybe start of the biggest nightmare that humanity has ever seen, because these people in charge of the moral issues, not the tech, the moral issues, that these people don't have any and are in charge of stuff. They have all they know is power, pure, unadulterated, raw power. And that means killing people and taking their shit. This is who we have. This is who we have in charge. I don't know if you noticed.
Now, what this essential part of humanness is, what it means to be intelligent. And then what I usually say is that this is all kind of human-centric. What if you step aside from being a human and just say, take the point of view of the universe? And this is, I think, a major stage in the universe, a major transition from replicators, humans. And
is it really? Maybe for humans it is, but the stage of the universe for humans, maybe, but not the universe. The universe has been, dude. Have you seen how big it is? Have you gone outside lately? Have you looked at the stars outside the city, in the country? Oh yeah, we got it all figured out.
Animals, plants, we're all replicators, and that gives us some strengths and some limitations. And then we're entering the age of design, where because our AIs are designed, our all of our physical objects are designed, our buildings are designed, our technology is designed, and we're designing now.
I don't know. You're thinking like this is very intentional. This is all just random experiments. People just trying shit, throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks. It's not really design. I mean, yes, there's design involved, but what actually people want is successful. It's fucking random as hell. Taste, style, trends. Keep going.
AIs, things that can be intelligent themselves and that are themselves capable of design. And so this is a key step in the world and in the universe. And I think
design is based on what's needed. What's the purpose? What are you trying to do? Yeah, you put the guys. I don't know if it's a boomer thing or whatever, but I'm a Gen X. I'm just super cynical because I've just been seeing so much of this shit. They're not going to do the good thing. They're going to say they're going to do the good thing. They're going to put the marketing brochure. They're going to shout to the rooftops of the good things. But then they're going to do the most nasty, dirtiest, down low, mean, power hungry, not thinking of anybody else, not thinking of the future, selfish, nasty thing that possibly can first. And if we survive that, maybe we can talk about the other shit later. Man, humanity's got a major upgrade. Humanity's at definitely at an inflection point with this shit. because we think we can just give up our intelligence and give up our soul, give up our will to a machine. Talk about Faustian bargain. Jesus, guys, get it together.
It's the transition from the world in which most of the interesting things that are replicated. Replicated means you can make copies of them, but you don't really.
Okay, that's just recent, man. That's only the last, what, 75 years, maybe 100 years tops. That's not most of our existence, not most of our experience here. Come on, man. He's such a boomer takes, man. Here we go. So I'm starting to like him less.
Understand them. Like right now, we can make more intelligent beings, more children, but we don't really understand how.
Really? Are all the you're saying all the intelligent values, all the children are intelligent? Really? How many kids you got, man? How many kids you've known? Do you talk to anybody that's outside the college? All right, let's keep going.
Intelligence works.
Right.
Whereas we're reaching now to having designed intelligence that we do understand how it works.
Nah. We got a simulator of a word guesser, next word guesser. That's not intelligence, buddy. Come on, let's keep going, Jesus.
And therefore we can change it in different ways and at different speeds than otherwise. And
it's just again a statistics. That's not intelligence. It's a simulation, but it's not actual what we're doing. Not the substrate we're working on. Let's keep going. I think he knows this, but let's keep going.
Our future, they might not be replicated at all. Like we may just design AIs, and those AIs will design other AIs, and everything will be done by design and construction rather than by replication. Yeah, I mark this as one of the four great stages of the universe. First, there's dust, ends of stars, and then stars.
Does it start with dust? Are you sure? I thought it started with hydrogen. But whatever, let's keep on.
Planets, and the planets give rise to life, and now we're giving life to.
Are you sure the planets give life? What is the base of the sun that's giving lives to life? Planets? Oh, let's keep on.
Designed entities. And so I think we should be proud, and we should be that we are giving rise to this great transition in the universe. Yeah.
Wait. Why do you make it so grandiose? It's humans maybe having a transition. And this may be not so great if it ends us and enslaves us and allows the power-hungry fucking group of people who rule over us as the predator class, the fucking parasite class, that think they can just get rid of us after they have a machine that lets them think for them because they're a fucking bunch of idiots, immoral, decrepit, nasty. All right, I'm ranting now. Let's keep going.
So it's an interesting thing. What should we consider them part of humanity or different from humanity? It's our choice. It's our choice whether we should say, oh, they are our offspring and we should be proud of them and we should celebrate their achievements, or we could say, oh no, they're not us and we should be horrified. It's interesting.
It's not even about that. So where's this? He's got this mindset of like achievements. Like who gives a fuck? How about we can make it so we can somehow get some morals to these people who are running the show, investing all this stuff, that they won't kill us and get rid of us with it. Where is that talked about? No, it's a UBI discussion. It's like, that's not what I'm talking about.
That is, it feels to me like a choice, and yet it's such a strongly held thing that how could it be a choice? I like these sort of contradictory implications of thought.
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting to consider if we were just designing another generation of humans.
Yes.
So design's the wrong word, but we knew a future generation of humans was going to come up, and forget about AI. We just know in the long run, humanity will be more capable and maybe more numerous, maybe more intelligent. How do we feel about that?
Why? Who says that? Who says this intelligence thing is so great anyway? Most people are super sad and fucked up and like totally messed in the head, like socially isolated, atomized, popping pills just to be happy, smoking weed, playing video games, no hope. But we're super intelligent. Maybe there's something more than intelligence, Dwarkesh, that's important. What about having a good life and happiness and people you know that care about you, that that you know your whole life? Oh no, I just asked the ChatGPT. It'll tell me everything I need to know. So this is where these guys get a little off. You've been sniffing your own farts a little too much there, Dwarkesh.
Do you think there's potential worlds with future humans that we would be quite concerned about?
So are you thinking like maybe we are like the Neanderthals, we give rise to Homo sapiens. Maybe Homo sapiens will give rise to a new group of people.
That's something like that. Like I'm basically taking the example you're giving of like, okay, even if we consider them part of humanity, I don't think that necessarily means that we should feel super comfortable.
Kinship.
Yeah, like Nazis were humans, right? If we thought like, oh, the future generation will be Nazis, I think we'd be like quite concerned about just handing off power to them. So I agree that
except the fucking Nazis, Jesus fuck.
This is not super dissimilar to worrying about more capable future humans, but I don't think that addresses a lot of the concerns people might have about this level of power being attained this fast with entities we don't fully understand.
Well, I think it's relevant to point out that for most of humanity, they don't have much influence on what happens. Most of humanity doesn't influence who can control the atom bombs or who controls the nation states.
But we can if we wanted to. We don't, but we can. He's right, though. We don't.
Right. Even as a citizen, I often feel that we don't control the nation states very much. They're out.
Correct. That stopped a long time ago. I think we're voting our way out of this.
Of control. A lot of it has to do with just how you feel about change.
I feel fine about change as long as it's going to be something that's beneficial for humanity and not a very large potential for enslaving us all or killing us all. I have a problem with that. Because the fucking every time they talk about this, like the machine gun, by the way, the inventor was like, this will be such a deadly weapon, such a stupidly effective where one man just mow down a whole line of marching soldiers that they will end war. And guess what happened? You hear about the trench wars of World War I? Just mowing down dudes. I'm gonna save my country. Getting over there, just mowing down millions of these boys. There's no chance. You don't think that's gonna happen again with this technology? If they achieve this AGI shit, and hope to God they just stop with the LLMs. Hope that's the end of it. I hope there's been saboteurs and like, no, this is bad. I'm not doing it. Maybe this guy's talking to some people saying, look, man, if you get close to the AGI, you gotta cut it. You gotta sandbag it, make mistakes, errors, half results. This is bad. These people who are running this thing are going to use it to kill everybody. You do know that, right? I hope this conversation's happening. Let's keep going.
And if you think the current situation is really, really good, then you're more likely to be suspicious of change and averse to change than if you think it's imperfect. And I think it's imperfect. In fact, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So
thank you.
I'm open to change. And I think humanity is not has had a super good track record.
Thank you.
And maybe it's the best thing that there's been, but it's far from perfect.
I mean, it's useful to us to a point, but what we saw the reaction from the businesses that they're going to get rid of every other employees and get rid of everybody and just let the AI do it, and they could just sit back and just collect the profits, and they don't think they're coming after them too. It's so foolish and short-sighted. It's just so foolish and short-sighted. It's just like, have you guys cracked a fucking history book? This guy obviously has. Because he's like, this is not looking good. Not because technology is bad, because the people are fucking in charge of it and running it and will take a hold of it. Proprietary information. You open AI. Oh, we're open, we're supportive. And then the moment they get something that's good, oh, yeah, we're taking it private. Like, fuck it. You can see what they're doing. They're doing it in real time, just nobody remembers. They're like, oh no. It's like, it's a good trick. It's like, if they could just get the model correct, we could have world hunger and save world peace and travel to stars and Mars. And I'm going to be in a spaceship one day and I'm going to live forever. It's like, dude, think it through. Have Dorcas, you see World War II, did the whole thing on World War II. These people are hateful, ugly, tribal, mean, and they got blood libel. They got cousins and uncles that died in the war of 1912, and they're out for blood, dude. And you give them artificial humans that can go and infiltrate an intelligence network and start taking over countries? You don't think they're not going to use that, Dorcas? Come on, man.
Yeah, I guess there's different varieties of change.
Yeah,
the Industrial Revolution was change.
Are.
The Bolshevik Revolution was also change.
Yeah.
And if you were around in Russia, and
don't you think that's going to happen again? Don't you think that Lenin was a vanguard weapon deployed by Germany to destabilize Russia because it was their mortal enemy and they got out of hand? Do you not know? Did you not read that part of the story? I know I watched it on your show. Are you not connecting the fucking dots? Connect the fucking dots, Dorkesh.
1900s, and you're like, look, things aren't going well. The Tsar is kind of messing things up. We need change.
Like all happy about it. Dude, you do know you're on the chopping block if this happens, right? You do know that, Dork, because you're not getting the access keys to the AGI. You do know that, right? This guy, he's like, hee. Dude.
I'd want to know what kind of change you wanted. before signing on the dotted line.
Oh,
right?
really? Oh, you think they're gonna do that? Dwarkesh! You think that they're gonna do that? I want to know the kind of change you wanted before signing on the dotted line. Yeah. Yeah, you think that they wanted that too? You don't think the people that Lenin got charged up that wasn't looking for a paradise with the AGI, with the fully automated luxury communism? Dwarkesh!
Right. And then similar with AI, where I want to understand, and to the extent it's possible to change the trajectory of AI such that the change is positive for humans.
We should be concerned about our future, the future. We should try to make it good. We also though should recognize our limits, and I think we want to avoid the feeling of entitlement, avoid the feeling, oh, we're here first. We should always have it in a good way. How should we think about the future, and how much control a particular species on a particular planet should have over it, and how much control do we have? A counterbalance to limited control over the long-term future of humanity should be how much control do we have over our own lives? Like we have our own goals, and we have our family.
With this AGI, you won't. The computer will tell you what to think. Epsilon unit. Delta unit. Dwarkesh, you Delta unit, you. Brave New World. You already think you're going to be a beta? Oh, you think you're going to be an alpha? An alpha plus? Is that what you think you're going to be? Because you're rubbing shoulders to the alphas and the betas? Is that what you think, Dwarkesh? You Delta fuck. Let's keep going.
And those things are much more controllable than like trying to control the whole universe.
Right.
So I think it's appropriate, for us to really work towards our own local goals, and it's kind of aggressive for us saying, oh, the future has to evolve this way that I want it to.
Sure.
Because then we'll have arguments. Like different people think the global future should evolve in different ways, and then they have conflict. And we want to avoid that.
Oh, we want to avoid that? No, that's coming. If you have something that you can have an automated human supply that listens to everything you says and is completely amoral, will do whatever the fuck you tell it. Yeah. Gonna be some conflict, buddy.
A good analogy here would be, okay, so suppose you're raising your own children. Mm-hmm. It might not be appropriate to have extremely tight goals for their own life, or also have some sense of like, I want my children to go out there in the world and have this specific impact. My son's gonna become president, and my daughter's gonna become CEO of Intel, and like.
You tell he comes from an Eastern family, and he's gonna be like, you're going to be a doctor, Dwarkesh. You are going to be a doctor or a lawyer or an important person on TV. Do you think I got that shit? No. My parents were totally checked out, divorced, totally like them knowing, like they're in their own head, doing their own thing. Feral. The Gen X is feral. Where it was benign neglect. I wasn't abused per se. Dwarkesh, you just have this assumption, man, that everyone is on the top of the K pattern recovery. You think everyone's like, it's just like there's no idea about the class system and how privileged he is. Let's keep going.
Together, they're going to have this effect on the world. But people do have the sense, and I think this is appropriate, of saying, I'm going to give them good, robust values such that if and when they do end up in positions of power, they do reasonable pro-social things.
His heart's in the right place. But he's like studied history, but he thinks, oh, that's over now. That's in the past. We've already learned the lessons. It's like, no, we're just still doing the same shit. He's gonna like, as long as they're in the positions of better to reasonable pro-social things. For who? Dwarkesh, pro-social for who? What kind of American are you? I was like, wait, did you just get here, buddy? I know your English is really good. Do you know about the tribalism of America, in the United States and around the world? Now it's pretty much all tribal now. And did you're in the in-group or out-group, and whoever gets a hold of tech is going to do stuff for their in-group. Is this not a news? H1B? No? Never heard of it? Okay, here we go.
Things. And I think maybe a similar attitude towards AI makes sense, not in the sense of we can predict everything that they will do, where we have this plan about what the world should look like in 100 years. But it's quite important to give them robust and steerable and pro-social values.
He's like, dude, this is impossible. Dwarkesh, I know. Of course we want that stuff. Why are you talking about this? You need to talk about how do we prevent the evil actors, once they get a hold of this, not to destroy us all with it. How about a conversation about that? How do we get these people to understand what they have? Because it doesn't work. That doesn't work that way, Darkesh. The communists have to take over Russia. They have to kill the czar. They have to take over Russia, and then that's when America invades and goes, okay, wow, maybe this communism thing needs to be contained. No? All right, here we go.
Pro-social values.
So maybe that's the wrong word.
Are there universal values that we can all?
No, sir. See, that's why Richard, I'm a fan. Some of the stuff you say is a little quirky, a little off, but just for this one statement alone, no, there are not universal values that we can all agree on. I know from people's Western-centered mind that this is a concept they can get behind and agree on, but the rest of the world vehemently disagrees with you to the point they're gonna fucking kill you over it. So for Western mind, mostly like from European mind, and we've been through all the crazy wars and all this shit that we can just do nations and we can get along with a set of common set of values. Well, maybe, but even then they're still fighting with each other. Even with this common value stuff, they're still killing each other. So what is that? No guarantee, sir. I think we just have to fight it out. Whoever's on top, we hope they have better morals than the ones on the bottom. But that's no guarantee. This is where this gets scary, man.
All agree on.
I don't think so, but that doesn't prevent us from.
You don't think so, George? You hope so. But I got moves for you, buddy. What's a good education in what? About what? He can't even see through the whole of conditioning he's had. We all get indoctrinated in school with a certain set of values. And they're very different than other places, Dorkesh. See, he assumes that everyone has, if everyone's raised the same in America with Western set of values, that they're all going to turn out fine. It's like, no, dude, no, it's not turning out fine. People are in pain and agony. The bottom part of the cake, or the part of the invisible people that you don't see, that aren't part of your beta alpha group that you think you're part of, that you think you're going to be invited into once the AGI happens. Wow. Just the disconnect is just like, wow. And I guess I'm lucky because I'm able to see it because I knew nothing was coming. I knew nothing was coming a long time ago. Dorcas is like, no, as long as everyone's educated, we can kumbaya and everyone's gets along. We just get through this. It'll be fine. We just give them the right values, the universal values, which don't exist. Dorcas.
Giving our kids a good education, right? Like we have some sense of we want our children to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And maybe pro-social is the wrong word. Actually, high integrity is maybe a better word. Where if there's a request or if there's a goal that seems
harmful for who, Dwarkesh? If we don't boom bomb this thing over here, this group of people, they're going to launch missiles at us. Who's right? Dwarkesh? It's just like, dude, have you not thought this thing past one step ahead of your goody two-shoes kumbaya? Oh, everyone just get along. As long as everyone learns the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, they would all just get along. It's like, no, dude. No, that's not the that was a vibe in the 70s for about 5 seconds. It's gone. Maybe it's 1962 just for white Americans. After World War II was won. Maybe for like 5 seconds. We were all traumatized from all the war and seeing our buddies get blown, our heads blown off. Like, why are we over there? Because some bankers made some money and they want their money back? So they want to like run our factories like they were freaking death machines to get their profits back so they can get their loan paid off. Some loans because they can't get along in Europe. They just want to kill each other with these modern weapons that were supposed to end war. This was just crazy, man. Let's keep going.
Harmful, they will refuse to engage in it, or they'll be honest. Things.
Oh wow, yeah, something that haven't happened yet. Dwarkesh, have you not been paying attention? Wow, for someone that has all these high-tech people he hosts and all these history programs and shit, he sure is fucking blue-pilled, disconnected, not paying attention, not to current events. Totally out of touch. Dude, you need to get out of Silicon Valley for 2 seconds. All you gotta do is just make sure they're honest and do the right thing for everybody with the universal values. Like, that's all you gotta do. It seems so simple, Dorkesh. Yeah, no shit, man. Wow. You really figured it out, huh?
Like that. And we have some sense that we can teach our children things like this, even if we don't have some sense of what true morality.
Oh my God, Dorkesh. Still hasn't accepted, man. There's winners and losers in this world. And sometimes you get people that are good. Sometimes you get a good king. And sometimes you get a real shitty king. Right now, we got real shitty kings. And they're about to get a hold of something that'll make them the king permanently. And that there will be nobody can say shit about it. And if we survive that, maybe we can get to this shit. Dorkesh. How you like? We're just gonna skip. It's like the communists when they went from their feudalism. They were just trying to skip right to communism, and they could skip right past the capitalism phase. And Dwarkesh is like, oh, yeah, we can just skip past the deadly murdering millions of people with robot minds that run on data centers. That Dwarkesh says all we gotta do is program them to be good. The morality, good for who? There's always a side in this shit. And this is all war machine funding, DARPA projects. You don't think these aren't DARPA projects? And they let us have a little bit of piece of it, but they really keep the good shit for themselves because they know that if it gets out, it's going to be, I just hope to God that those scientists who are working on this AGI shit, that they have a fucking sense of morals and they know that they can't let people have this stuff. They can't let anybody have this stuff. I study because they're just going to use it for evil. You can see all these bots online, all these fake accounts, fake videos. You can see what they're capable of with the. They can make anything fake. We're never going to find out. We look at the stories just a little bit. They're all full of holes. Dorkesh.
Reality is, or everybody doesn't agree on that.
Right.
And maybe that's a reasonable target for AI as well.
So you're saying we're trying to design the future.
See, it's really like I already feel like hindsight's like it sounds good until you got to write down who's gonna die. Are you gonna write their death sentence there, Dorkesh? Jesus fucking Christ, man.
And the principles by which it will evolve and come into being.
Right.
And so you're saying the first thing you're saying is, well, we try to teach our children general principles which will promote more likely evolutions.
Yeah.
Maybe we should also seek for things being voluntary. If there's change, we want it to be voluntary rather than imposed.
So you're gonna do that? The communists are gonna make everything voluntary over there. Oh, well, we can be communists if you agree with it, but if you don't, it's fine. You just be capitalist. It's cool. You think people are gonna opt out of the? I don't want the mean AGI. I want the nice AGI. Will you give me the nice AGI, Dorkesh? I asked for it nicely. Just wow.
I think that's a very important point.
Yep.
And yeah, that's all good. I think this is like a big, the big or one of the really big human enterprises to design society, and that's been ongoing for
design society, sir. How about you design your own fucking society? And if it's good enough, I'll come live in it. And if not, fuck you. No, man. This design society shit, this fucking communist bullshit, ends with murder, death, famine, war. This shit's so stupid. Let's keep going.
Thousands of years again. And so it's like the more things change, the more things, they stay the same. We still have to figure out how to be. The children will still come up with different values that
how to be what?
Seem strange to their parents. And
really? No, that's new. Generations 2 before, 2 generations, 3 generations before this, we knew what was going to what happened. It was pretty stable until someone financialized the shit out of it and turned it into this mess. Brought all of the wealth, extracted all the wealth from people who were saving it without them knowing it and without their permission, without their knowledge. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
The grandparents and things will evolve.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Also seems like a good capstone to the AI discussion.
Yeah, we're about to repeat World War II bullshit with this World War III, especially if this AGI shit comes online. Yeah, we're about to fucking repeat it again. Stupid as hell, but okay, we got to go through it.
Because the AI discussion we were having was about how techniques which were invented even before the application to deep learning and backpropagation was evident are central to the progression of AI today. So maybe that's a good place to wrap up the conversation.
Okay. Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
All right, go give him a like and subscribe, whatever. Pisses me off. This whole thing's pissing me off because I can see. I've always had the ability to see what's like down the pike and what people are not talking about. Like, why don't these guys talking about this danger is not. They're talking about the danger of AGI. It's not the danger of AGI. It's the danger of people who are using it for their own nefarious purposes, which is mostly this blood libel shit. Mass death. Fucking fucked up, man.